Good afternoon. This is Joe Krutzinger with an early weekly report. This is a special white paper on a new system I've written called 2017 Runner. This strategy is free to all my Europlan JK member clients. This has 7 months of all data analysis. And any of you that'd like to have a free trial of this, just let me know after Friday. I'll be out of the office both Wednesday and Thursday. But after Friday, just shoot me an email with your TeamViewer information. I'll be glad to set it up on your machine, and you can play with it, anywhere between 2 and 4 weeks, whatever you want to do, to see if it's something you might like. This is shown today on 60-minute bars, but they're all at 1-minute resolution. And I think you'll get a kick out of the system because I think it's one that will supplement the regular razor very, very well. So let's take a look. The 3 terms I try to define at all my presentations: first of all, hypothetical, simulated, they mean the same. These are trades that have not been executed. They're generated by a strategy with the benefit of hindsight. Now, when you develop a trading strategy or when you recalibrate it, all those results are by definition hypothetical or simulated. Now, I like to do a blind walk forward. That's where I just shut the thing and take a look at it after a week or a month or 2 years, whatever, and see how it walked forward on unseen data. Now, that won't give you slippage, but it'll give you a good idea how the math works. But it's still a simulated report. And of course, the best reports are always real records, actual trades that have been filled in exchange. Whenever I'm showing you either a hypothetical, a blind walk forward, or a real, I'll try to make clear to you which of these 3 things that particular report is. You can get a PDF of this presentation by just shooting me an email and be able to read the fine print a little bit better. This is the disclaimer regarding the illustrations of this report, and I should definitely let you know, these are hypothetical reports, and you got to take everything that's hypothetical with a grain of salt. This new strategy, 2017 Runner, this is the timeline. Of course, I've had the idea for the strategy, and I've done the initial test, which is a simulated back test. And now we're going to do the blind walk forward from today's date and see how it works out. Any of you who'd like to have this on your machine and follow it, be glad to give it to you free of charge. Just let me know, and I'll put it on using TeamViewer. And then once you've done that, obviously, if you buy it or if you use it for a long period of time, you'll be able to do a real-time validation at that point. Okay, the first slide we're looking at, this is 7 months. All of these records will be 7 months, 60-minute data, and they will be looking at, this is the E-mini S&P, and it's from November 2nd, 2016 to June the 2nd, 2017. You can see that there are 21 trades in this period of time, $3,100 of gain. Profit factor is high at 5.05. You make $2.02 for every dollar you lose, and you're right 71% of the time. Drawdown's a very small 207. Annual rate of return is 86%. The REIN is a high 5-digit number, not in the market at all, really, half of 1% of the time, basically. And the drawdown ratio is 15 to 1. These are awfully good numbers, and we'll see how they hold up. But these are awful good numbers for the E-mini. It uses the session 8:30 to 3:55, and of course it uses the exchange settings. Now, I know there's too much information on this slide, but when you get the PDF, you can zero in and look at it. But going from left to right, you see the monthly performance of the hypothetical, for the 7 months of record, and you can see the number of trades is very, very low. It's like 4 or 5 trades a month. So it's a supplementary system. It's not a system that you want to do exclusively. You look at the settings, and you can see that it does have a time exit. This is a day trade. Exit on close is true. The stop loss is a very, very tight one, 162.50, and there's the equity curve there to the right. At the bottom, I've shown you where you can see the buys and sells that have happened over the chart and get a feel for, in choppy times it trades, and in trending times it really doesn't. And of course, time, if you look at the razor will do the opposite. It really doesn't trade that much in choppy times, but it trades the trending times. So it's kind of a complement to the razor system. Now here's my favorite market, the mini Dow at the Chicago Mercantile. I like it because it has a lot of action. It's something you can watch just watching the regular Dow. And the fact that the bigger traders, the bigger accounts, don't trade the mini Dow. There's enough volume for us. There's about one tick a slip in it, but we don't have to compete with the big boys in it. This one shows making $5,300, 64% right. It's in the market a lot more. It's 2.5% of the time. Annual rate of returns higher also, 129.66, 4-digit RENA. The drawdown ratio is 14 to 1 with a drawdown over this period of less than $400, and pretty nice stats. Well, here's the crowded slide, and you can see that most of the time it's 6 or 7 trades. One time there, 1 month it did have 12 trades in a month. One time it only had 4 trades in a month. So, you know, basically it's not going to be your only system. You take a look at the equity curve there to the right. You can see that we do have an exit on close true. We have a time exit, and we have a stop that's a little bit bigger, but that's where the trades are. You can see again in the choppy times she trades. In that trending time it misses. It doesn't do a trade, and it's a combination. It's an interesting system because normally I don't use indicators, but it's a combination of indicators, including parabolic. So it's a fairly complex little system, and I think you get a kick out of it. Well, here we are in the mid cap, 25 trades in the 7 months, $5,000. Now this is an anomaly. Only 24% of the trades are right, but you make $14.99 for every dollar you lose. The average losing trade is $71.05, so it's very, very tight. That's why it has a 5-digit RENA, annual rate of return of over 120%, drawdown ratio 12.92 to 1, drawdown over the period is less than $400. Profit factor is a high 4.73. Now, if you don't mind having a lot of small losses and then occasionally having a pretty good sized winner, this is a way to go. And when you look over the left, now you've got 4 losing months. They aren't very big losing months. I mean, there's $30, $320, $210, $190. But then you have pretty big winning months, $17.90, $19.90, $17.50, like that. You can see the equity curve to the right, and you can see that we have a 170 stop. It is a day trade system. Excuse me. And you have a time exit that's pretty tight. And you can see again, in the choppy times it trades, in the trending times it leaves it alone. Now here's the mini NASDAQ. This is 68% correct, 25 trades in the period. In the market 1.36% of the time, 6.59 drawdown ratio, less than $500 drawdown in the period. You got an annual rate of return about 84%, a 4-digit RENA. Your profit factor is 3.36. You make $1.58 for every dollar you lose, and you're right 68% of the time. Decent, nothing really great, but pretty decent. Now, as you look down at the bottom, you'll see that the switcher is turned red, and that's basically because of inactivity during that trending time. It just didn't catch any of that trend. It was just on the sidelines. So we have it's a day trade system. It has a time exit. It has a stop that's a little bigger, at about 280 or so. And when you look back, you've got 2 losing months, but one of them's 290 and one of them's 170. That's the NASDAQ. I know it's getting boring looking at these numbers, but this is the way you have to do it. In effect, this is now the Russell at the ICE. Now, this is still using the 8:30-3:55 session, but it's Eastern Daylight Time. All the rest of these are Central Time at the Chicago Mercantile. So when we do change back to the Merc, we're going to have to play with the time on this one a little bit. But let's look through the numbers. Profit factor 3.08, makes $2.28 for every dollar it loses, 57% correct. Annual rate of return 165, 4-digit RENA. In the market 2.5% of the time. Drawdown ratio is 11.98 to 1, almost 12 to 1. Less than $500 worth of drawdown on a Russell, which is pretty decent for 7 months. 59.20 is a good solid number for that. Well, I misspoke. This is really only 6 months, so it's even better performance. There's basically one losing month, and the losing month is less than $400. You can see again where the trades are taking place, and you can also see that they In the Russell, they do tend to catch the trend a little more than they do in the other ones. We've got a stop here of only $230. It is a day trade. It has a time exit. And you can see that equity curve is pretty darn sharp, especially right currently. It's got a little blip that looks pretty darn good. Last one, this is the U.S. bonds. It's not an index, but it's showing we're back to the 7 months, 55.70, 67% right, profit factor 2.54, makes $1.23 for every dollar it loses. Drawdown's less than 600. In the market 1.84% of the time. Annual rate of return 132, 4-digit RENA. Decent numbers for the bonds. Let's look at the stats of it. Now the bonds have a very sharp, correct equity curve, but you can also see that the switcher has just turned red right here at the first part of June. There's been no losing months recorded, but it looks a little soft right here. The stop is pretty tight for bonds. It's 281.25, and it is a day trade, but it is a special session. It's 5 in the morning till 1600 Chicago time. So you make sure that you have the custom sessions. When obviously I'll install it and it'll be right, but do realize that it starts trading at 5 in the morning Chicago time. So that can be a disadvantage to you. Without telling you the secret of the special sauce, let me tell you a little bit about how this system is constructed, because it's different than any of the others I have. It still uses my trails and stop losses and profit target module that TradeStation wrote 17 years ago. It still uses that part as far as the get out, but the get in is basically a moving average trend with a parabolic trigger. So it's different. It's using 2 indicators, and none of my other stuff really uses indicators. So it's probably a good complement to the systems you already have. Now, if you already own my systems, you're going to get a special price on this. Instead of like $1,500, it'll be like $1,000, and the open code version will be just $500 more. But I don't want you to buy it. I'd like you to try it and give me some feedback on how you like it. And remember that it is a supplemental system. It's something to be used probably with the razor and the shapes as a secondary system. And you know, pick the market or 1 or 2 that looks the best for you, and then supplement what you're trading with this new 2017 runner. Now, if you need support, all you need to do is go to etrackrecords.com. Go to the support tab and follow the instructions. My main products are ideas, service, and support when you need it. Now we're going to switch to the real time. This is just a real-time update at the beginning of the month. We've had about 2 months now of trading Razor on the mini Dow, and it's done very well. And you know, be sure to read the disclaimers. Doesn't mean it's going to continue, but let's take a look. All right, well, this is the mini Dow on the Razor system. This is basically 2 months. It's 1 month, 28 days, 7 hours. It's 1 day more than a month, 2 months, I guess. But $3,142 has been the net gain after slip and commission. 50% of the trades have been right. The profit factor is 3.02. Made $3.02 for every dollar it's lost. Annual rate of return is over 300%. The percent of time in the market is a little higher than what we've just been looking at 6.6%. The drawdown ratio is 7.44 to 1. Drawdown's been less than $500. This is what I trade. This is the one I trade with my IRA and my automated account, and we'll just keep taking a look at it month by month and see where we go. Well, your next step is to call my office at 913-334-2202. Send me a TeamViewer 9 code, and I'll install this on your machine. You can work with it, for 14 days and see if it's something you want to use. My email is joecrud@gmail.com. Now, just a note, I am going to be out this Thursday and Friday, so anytime after Friday evening, if you do your emails over the weekend, I'll catch up and get everybody installed with the new 2017 runner. Our regular website is etrackrecords.com. Well, good luck and great trading. We'll see you next week with new recalibrations. And remember, on the 10th of June, you'll want to switch from the June contract to the September contract, and I'll go over that with you on next Thursday's recalibration video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.